All right, so this video is going to be really focusing on the personal side of personal finance. We're going to be covering a personal situation of mine where I almost made what would have been the biggest financial mistake of my life. My hope by covering this near miss catastrophe of mine and covering my mindset then and my mindset now and how it's changed my financial decision making going forwards is that you can learn from it and avoid those same mistakes for yourself. Hey, how's it going? If you don't know, my name is Evan. This is My Money Marathon. I focus on making content around personal finance and beginner investing. I'm also very active over on Twitter and Instagram. Links down below in the description if you're interested in more content like this. And today we're going to be focusing on my biggest financial mistake, almost. So let's set the stage a little bit. I had just graduated college as a mechanical engineer. I got a decently high-paying job straight out of college. And after about 7 months of working that job, I realized something. I could afford a Tesla. So you can probably see where this is going by now, but I had dreamed of getting a Tesla for years. As a huge tech nerd, the merging of awesome technology in a really solid car is just nearly too good to be true. So I quickly fell down the rabbit hole of customer reviews, research online, pricing out my situation, and even going out and doing test drives. So I knew from my calculations that I could buy, or really get a loan out to get a Tesla and still continue to save each month. I would say that I got about 90% of the way to buying one. I was legitimately one single night of no self-control away from hitting the buy button and going through with the purchase. So what stopped me? Well, what at the time was the absolute bane of my existence turned out to be a godsend and an absolute savior for my wallet. Price hikes. See, this was during the height of COVID and the height of supply chain restrictions. So the Tesla Model 3 that I was looking at the time went from about a $45,000 car to a $55,000 car in the matter of just a few months. And that sort of price increase just pushed it too far out of my budget. Not only was it out of my budget, but I was also questioning at that point whether the car was even worth that price anymore. For a time, I was extremely frustrated by this. I mean, I had been planning for this for months. I've been planning everything down to the detail of where I would charge on a daily basis because I don't have charging available at home, what exactly the prices would look like for me on a monthly basis, and when I would get it delivered. But this obsession got replaced by a much more useful obsession for me. Soon after deciding not to buy the Tesla, I became obsessed over personal finance, specifically the idea of saving and investing each month and watching your wealth grow essentially passively, massively over a long period of time. I started to see graphs just like this showing the enormous financial impact that saving and investing as early in life as possible can have on your long-term well-being. I balanced my budget, I built tools to help me manage my finances, and I automated a ton of systems to help me get there more quickly, efficiently, and with as little time as possible. A lot of these tools I've made publicly available, and you can look for links down in the description below. The lesson I learned from all of this financial research was something that seems pretty obvious in hindsight. Just because I could buy a Tesla does not mean that I should. Not only would I have had to liquidate a ton of my investments to cover the increased down payment, but the increased monthly payments, the interest on those payments and such would have easily cost me tens of thousands of dollars more in the long run. I also learned the power of delayed gratification. I actually want a Tesla more now than I did back then, believe it or not. But the fact is, I've set up systems nowadays to manage my wealth, track my wealth better, and reach my goals faster so that when I end up getting my Tesla, which trust me I will be able to afford it much more easily than I would have previously. Things like building a brand, which is this channel that you're looking at right now, as well as investing as much as humanly possible every single month, those are going to get me there more quickly, and the more income I can generate and the more I can build my wealth, the more realistic that Tesla becomes. I haven't let go of my dream of owning one. I've just adjusted my path so that I can achieve that dream while still continuing to build wealth. So how has this shaped my money mindset? Well, I've first of all shifted into a much more long-term mindset when I think of my finances and when I think of building wealth. And number two, I've also learned to spend money on things that provide me personal value. I know that for me, spending money on cool gadgets that I can enjoy like a Tesla does bring genuine value to my life. However, through this waiting period and this delayed gratification, I have also realized something that's just as, if not more important to me, and that is time and financial flexibility. This is a desire to live a life without traditional constraints, such as a 9 to 5, and having that time back in my day to focus on hobbies and family and friends. I mean, after all, that's the goal with money, isn't it? It's to use that paper to buy as much freedom as you can. I feel confident that I will look back on that time as one of the most influential times in my entire life, financial or not. And I really hope that with you hearing about it and what I've learned from it, you can help avoid making that mistake for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing to this channel and checking out my other content down below in the description. Other than that, I'll see you next time.